Well, the Raptors are walking wounded right now as they try to keep pace in the Eastern Conference. Hey everyone, Rob Wong joined alongside by Toronto Sun Raptors beat writer Mike Ganter to chat about where things are at with the Raptors as we inch towards the 20-game mark of the season. And Mike, right now, it's all about the injuries. It's more who's not injured at this point. Pascal Siakam, Precious Achiuwa, and now Scotty Barnes listed as questionable ahead of their game against Brooklyn on Wednesday. What do you make of what's going on right now with the injuries, and can this team survive it?
I don't know what to make of the injuries. I mean, this is a real rash of them, I guess. They're all coming at once. So far, they've done okay. I mean, since Siakam went down, they're 4-4. I mean, that's not terrible considering Fred VanVleet was out for a little bit there, and then you throw in, I mean, you mentioned Achiuwa. There's also Banton. Gary Trent Jr. is just back. He should be back tomorrow. Chris Boucher, he'll be back tomorrow. Justin Champagnie, a guy who could have helped throughout this, he hasn't been healthy yet, so we're still waiting on him. He's got a back issue right now. So yeah, they're struggling right now, and I mean they've done okay. They should have won Saturday in Atlanta. That was a game they basically coughed up, and we'll see where they go from here. But they're going to get a tough Brooklyn matchup because they've lost a lot of size with all these injuries. Siakam out, Barnes out, Achiuwa out, Otto Porter Jr. out. So you lose that size, and now you've got to defend a 7-footer and Kevin Durant, who can basically score from anywhere on the floor. They're going to have their hands full. The only plus side is, Brooklyn's going to be on a back-to-back. They play Tuesday night in Philadelphia and then come to Toronto on Wednesday. So maybe you get them a little fatigued.
So as it stands right now, the odds makers would have the Raptors as favorites to make the playoffs, but it's a pretty tightly contested Eastern Conference. Where do you have the Raptors ranked if you were to put them in a tier in the East? Are they top tier, middle tier, bottom tier? Where would
I'd
you
probably put them in the middle right now. I mean, depending on if you go top 4 and then 5 through 8, they're in that 5 through 8 right now. They haven't broken into the 4 yet. There's a potential there. They could do that. Get healthy, get all your players back, and then finally find some rhythm. I don't think this team has found its rhythm. Well, it had it for a little while there early on, but it's been 8 or 9 games since they've actually played, the way they're capable of. So again, you take Pascal Siakam back. I mean, that's the guy you're playing through him every night. You take him out, you've got to relearn some things. Now they're playing through OG mostly. That's an entire different kettle of fish. I mean, that's, he's more of a, whereas Siakam will drive and get his points, with his spin move or whatever. OG is just as likely to pull up and hit a mid-range, although he's been at his best when he does drive and uses that power and that force that he has and gets to the rim and finishes there.
So you mentioned OG, and go figure, with all the injuries right now, he's been one of the healthier guys, and historically that's not always been the case for him, but it has been quite a bit of a breakout. A lot was made of the steals that he had early on in the season, and of late it's been the offensive production. Is this legitimate, the OG Anunoby breakout season?
I believe it is, just because I know he's been wanting it for a long time, and really the only thing, as you mentioned, that's been keeping him from getting there are injuries, and a lot of the injuries have been weird. Like, you go back to 2019, he didn't get to play in the championship run because of an appendicitis, and then there was last year he knocked knees with Precious Achiuwa in a practice about a third of the way into the season, or maybe even it might have been earlier. Again, another freak incident, and so if he can just stay away from those and just get a run where this is what he's capable of. He can play both ends of the floor. He's an absolute devastating defender. He can take anybody out of a game. It doesn't matter who the player is, and maybe not by himself, but with this lineup, when it's healthy and they're switching the way they are, they're all big enough. And OG is he's the focal point of that defense. I mean, he's the guy, you put him on one, and you can basically eliminate him. And then, like you mentioned, offensively, his game has just gone to another level, and it's confidence. That's all it is. It's just finish, and finish is all confidence. It's like, I can do this. This has worked for me in the past, and we're seeing that right now. So yeah, I'm very high on OG Anunoby right now, and I think rightly so.
Yeah, they're going to need him big time in that matchup against Durant and the Brooklyn Nets on a Wednesday night. For all of Mike's Raptors coverage, you can find him at the Toronto Sun and on Twitter at Mike_Ganter.